So, all right, we're here with Ciaran. All right, founder from CustomersonCommand. How are you doing, Ciaran?
What's going on, man? How are we doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. So, for the people listening right now, can you give like a little bit of a brief intro about your business? What you do, who you serve, and let's get right into it.
Yeah, we're a marketing and consulting company for several types of online service-based businesses, being like immigration, law firms, and then software/mobile app developers. So we do like marketing solutions and sales infrastructure for them and several other things, but that's the baseline, yeah.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So, how do we initially met? Like, how did it happen?
How did we meet?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, we've known each other for a while. I think years. We go way back. But
Right.
I think I was always aware that you were in the sales recruitment space, and you were giving me a lot of updates about it. And it came a
Mhm.
point where we really needed to update the salespeople in our company. So when we did connect and got that sorted, like that was a huge win for us, and it made a
Mhm.
massive, massive impact.
Yeah, because I remember at the time. So when we I remember you were looking. You had a sales. When we first met for this business where you were looking for a salesperson, it was you. You were taking the sales calls, and you did you have a sales team, or like it was essentially just like you and like one other SDR essentially,
No,
and then
we actually did have salespeople. I
yeah.
just had this urging feeling that we needed to upgrade the team, and that
Mhm.
what we were operating at, we could do so much better with the right people involved. Because really, it is like
Right.
the biggest breakthroughs in my business career so far has come 100% when you recruit the right person. It's like the right talent in any business, quite literally puts you so much further ahead than where you currently are. It's absurd. Like
Yeah.
I've never done anything ever, no strategy or no tactic that has had as much impact as hiring the right person. And at that point, I knew that for our sales team, we were not as efficient as we could be in many aspects. And by
Mhm.
bringing in the right person, that was going to have a huge impact for us.
100%. And so at the time, essentially the first hire I believe was like mainly just bringing on an SDR at the time. And over time, you guys had need to essentially replace a closer, bring in the right guys who could close deals. Beforehand, what were some essentially leaks that you noticed even within the sales team that were fixed afterwards just by bringing in the right people?
Yeah, I mean, it's first of all the obvious leading indicators, right? Like the clear deals being lost. So, we had, I think, on our live calls, we had like 15% close rate. And for me, it's like I know that we're capable of so much more than that. So, and it was the reason why I knew that was because I, as the founder, took calls for my company for the first 6 to 7 months. I probably took over 350 calls for the company at least, probably more
Hmm.
like 500. So
Yep.
I knew what was capable because I had done myself 30% close rate months. So
Right.
as the founder, I knew we were so much more capable than doing 15%. So it was leading indicators like that, but also like for me, it was a case of there were clear calls not being offered that should have been because the closer was trying to protect their close rate. Also,
Right.
things like cash collected was lacking. Like even if we did sign deals, they like our upfront cash collected for say a 25K deal of 25K value deal ended up sitting more like $5,000 upfront or $10,000. And it's like for us, okay, we know that why aren't we able to collect more cash? It's because the prospect doesn't have as much conviction in terms of what we're actually selling, which means we kind of have to go a little bit cheap on the deals and split it up into payment plans, etc. So it was just like for me, my one of my principles of business is always like, and it's such an obvious thing, but it's like play it big, right, and bring in people who have done what you want to do and got where you want to be.
Yeah.
The biggest breakthroughs, like I mentioned a few minutes ago, that's going to get you to whatever stage of business you're at to the next level is going to be
Yeah.
hiring an operator or someone who is extremely efficient at a certain role at a company that is bigger than yours and is where you want to be. Right? That's the biggest life hack in business. Now, obviously they demand a lot and they're expensive, but it pays off, right? It's if you don't go, you should never go cheap on talent. And yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yeah. What did you? When did you have that realization? It's like that, like to not go too with talent. Like, was there a specific moment that happened, or like you just knew that really early on? Again, a lot of people have to learn through trial and error. Some people are
Yeah.
able to pick up on that early on. Like, how did you know it's like the value of good talent, even as a
Yeah.
business owner? How did you figure that out? When was that?
Well, I did it almost by accident. So one of the first hires I made was like an operator, basically. I treat him as a COO in the company. He's stepping more into a COO of the company, and he worked at another business kind of in our space, not exactly, but kind of in our space. That was a
Mm-hmm.
whole lot bigger than ours. I think they were doing like 10 to 15 million a year, and
Yep.
I wasn't intentionally thinking, oh, I'm going to get this guy from this company. He's going to join this company, and he's going to make the biggest breakthrough for us. It was kind of by accident. I was looking to hire someone. I ended up hiring him, and I was like, after bringing him on board, it was that realization of there's a whole lot of stuff I don't know and I don't want to know. I want him to do it, and he came in and had a massive impact on the company. And this was several years ago. And since that day, I've always vowed to be like, I will put time into recruiting right talent. Like that is quite literally the make or break of any business is the people inside of it. And
100%.
and if you're actually serious about growing a business, your mindset as a founder or CEO, or whatever it is, right, is long term building a team that can last without you, right? Because in my opinion, I don't like being an operator. I don't like being a CEO personally. I like making strategic decisions, and I like long term investing in other companies and doing plays like that. So for me, it's like always thinking about, it's as hard to play it big and attract medium talent as it is to, oh, sorry, it's hard to play it big and attract great talent as it is to attract medium talent. In fact, I would argue it's harder if you're hiring someone who's like a B or C player, quote unquote. It's going to be harder long term than like really going out and trying to find that A player because they're going to make your life a whole lot easier. If you have a B to C player, you're going to end up filling their shoes. All you need to figure out is how can I get the right person for the right role? And as someone who operates a company, that's what you should be spending most of your time thinking about, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And you want to have someone who also represents you really well
Yes.
and also comes across a certain way. I think like sales ability is one thing, but how the person that you're hiring, how they present themselves and who they are to their core speaks volume. And people sleep
Yes.
on that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
It
especially if you're
is
selling a B2B solution,
when it comes to sales specifically, it is like the make or break of your business. Like how you are perceived to potential customers, to potential buyers. It comes down to sales, right? And not only that, there's a downstream effect of sales which people don't talk about. When you're selling something, low level sales reps and people are going to really overpromise and really misalign expectations with the client or customer you're trying to bring on. And a good sales rep is going to be able to close deals at a higher ticket price, at a higher upfront cash collected, at a higher close rate, but also really set frame with prospects. And not only that, set expectations that are a downstream effect of the company. Because when we
Yep.
when we had not as great closers in the company, it was like we weren't only just not selling as much as we could, we were
Mm-hmm.
also the customers we were getting were completely misaligned, completely in a way missold, and it
Right.
just killed our fulfillment, man. It was yeah, it was really bad.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So what was like so it seems like a lot happened. Like when we started working together, who were the kind of the key hires that you made just through us? And then like, what did that look like? Even just your experience working with me at the time. Like again, I
yeah,
known you for a while, but either way, it's like even if we just knew each other for like just a week, I want to make sure I delivered the right people
yeah,
because based on what you were selling, I understood like okay, they're gonna be deal with a certain type of person, and
yeah,
also you're running purely on cold traffic as well.
yeah.
So the
Right,
thing is, they got to be good and they got
right.
to represent you at a high level. So, like, what have you noticed? What does that look like? Mm.
Without a doubt, the biggest hire we received from you, basically, and you helped recruit for us, was our sales representative. It quite literally doubled our company in the space of 60 days, like 100%. And I remember because when I actually worked with you, we were doing pretty good, we were decent, but then that it wasn't like the first 30 days, they came on board and we did all the onboarding and got them, and they
Yep,
started strong. That's one thing as well. Like within the
I
first two
remember.
weeks,
Mm.
they were closing at 15%. But then by the time they got fully settled on the 60, 90-day mark, we doubled the company, and it was solely because of the new business that sales rep brought in, nothing else.
Yeah.
So you bringing in that sales rep doubled our company, 100%.
Right.
And
then
we still,
yeah.
we've had them long term as well. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the kind of the key things you noticed right away? Were they collecting more cash up front, better close rate? Like, what were they doing differently? Like, what do you think was really the biggest key factors of them being substantially more successful than even your previous hires? Right.
Experience, 100%. I mean, the guy you helped recruit for us, the first person, he had worked in a massive recruitment company and $100 million recruitment company. He'd seen it. He had been at that level. And then when he came to us, it was like small company in comparison. It's like you can step in here and really take us to the next level. That was the biggest thing, was experience, batteries included. He came in and it wasn't like I didn't even have to train him anywhere near the level I had to train the previous people I came on board. I gave him everything I knew. He was a self-starter. He got started. We did
Mm,
some training, but the training was a whole lot easier on my part because there wasn't
right.
as much to train on. And then by the time he came into taking the calls, it was like it revolutionized the actual way we take calls without trying to be over dramatic, because the actual calls, the cadence, the respect from the prospects was completely game changing. He was 100% comfortable on those calls. He was not.
Mm,
If he was talking to a CEO of a $30 to $40 million a year business that we had on the phone, completely comfortable. Took frame,
right.
earned the respect of the prospect. So I would say, all in all, it was completely experienced. Like, it was batteries included. It wasn't anything new to him. I didn't have to teach him. Like, I didn't teach him anything. He
Yep.
taught me, if anything. So
Right.
yeah,
That's the key. Yeah. And again, like it seems like, and the good thing too is he's stuck with you guys as well. Like again, sometimes people make hires, they do well, but then again, like they churn or like
yeah,
they leave or some bad stuff happens. It seems like he's been able to stick with you guys as well, which is like really cool to see. And yeah, I mean, I'm glad I've been able to connect you guys. At first, I was like a little unsure because there was a few other candidates because again, he has a lot more experience, has sold at a much higher level. But I'm like, that's also what you need,
yes,
if you're
exactly.
gonna grow your company. And
Yeah,
so again, definitely worthwhile. I'm glad to connect you guys. And in terms of like when you said double as well, like grow the company, was it revenue and also cash collected, or was it a mix of both as well? Like what did that look like?
it was both. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
I mean, doubles probably understating it. It was poor. I would have to go back and look, but
yeah,
from my knowledge, it was triple within like a 90 to 120-day period,
yeah.
and that was in actual profit, cash collected, revenue. The whole
That's
company was
crazy.
able to
When you think
take off
about it, just from one hire, it's
one
insane.
hire. Yeah, yeah, one
Yeah.
hire that was. And here's the thing: like, I would say in time, energy, focus, they were actually less expensive than people we had hired before, because
Right.
I didn't have to, watch their calls and sit down after every call they took and be like, "Oh my God, this is terrible. Like, we need to work on this," or "This
Right.
is really poor." And then also, like, giving feedback. Like, obviously, no one's going to be perfect when they come on board, but
Hmm.
someone who's an A player and someone who has that experience, when you actually do the feedback for them and you give them, "Hey, like, I would say this differently, da 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 da," they'll take this on and they'll do it for the rest of their calls. They're never going to forget it. So in every single department, it was easier for us,
Hmm.
and I would say it's less expensive, but we doubled and then even tripled the business.
That's awesome. Good to hear, dude. So, what's your plan even now moving forward? With your company, are you guys looking to like keep running lean and just having just like key A player, and then having again like what does that look like? Oh, like for people that may be curious as well, it's like you guys have like again you guys have like one make closer, you guys sell something relatively like decently high ticket as well, right? Because
Yeah,
for some people listening, maybe thinking okay they're selling a 3 to 5K packages. Pretty sure you guys sell over 10K packages
yeah.
to clients, and also you guys work with your clients long term, so it's a little bit
hmm
different as well. So if you could just give people like a quick snippet on what that looks like, in or even the other business that may be listening that are curious.
Well, yeah. Look, I think for me, it's again, another motto of mine is, when you do get that person who is quote unquote A player, like, pay them well. So for me, for us, it's like you said, it kind of is running lean because we're not in the business of continuously signing new customers all the time. For us, if we aim like our targets, for example, might be 5 to 7 per month, but for us, it's like we know each customer can be worth 80 to 100 grand in lifetime value per customer every year. And if as a sales rep at our company, if you bring someone on board, you're not paid on just the upfront cash you collect, you're paid on that entire LTV. So that incentivizes as well, like a sales rep to come on board, is to think long term. And I would argue as a sales rep, because I've worked in this space a lot and I've seen like especially in our customers companies, like so many reps come and go, and number one, it's like if you are a sales rep, I would say put yourself in a position where you can work. You see a company that has a long-term vision, and when I say that in terms of lifetime value. You do not want to, in my opinion, as a sales rep, be working at a company that sells one-time packages of a few $1,000s, whatever it may be, because all of this is about leverage. Like the sales rep who works at our company, if he closes a deal, yeah, that's like he collects commission on the upfront, but he's also built leverage where he's going to be collecting cash from that existing customer for the foreseeable future, which can be 12 months, 24 months, 36 months. That's where you get leverage as a sales rep. And especially if you're able to, actually work with the customers and keep them on board and help them with like retaining long term, it's like that's a position I would, if I was a sales rep, I would want to put myself in, not working at like short-term companies that sell one-time packages and
Mm-hmm.
also have to constantly be burning through customers, right? Like for
Right.
me, it's like go straight to the top. Go and work in a company that has quote unquote, Peter Thiel calls it complex sales, a little bit longer sales cycles, but much higher ticket and much higher lifetime value per customer. And go and get really good at closing those complex sales because you only need 5, 10, 15 of those a month, in some cases a year, to make a lot more than any other sales rep who's closing, just running through customers every single month and bringing them on board. That's how I would approach it. And I think I would ignore the advice online of like the need to, if you're when you're doing complex sales, the need to one call close those customers. Like, no, build a
Right.
relationship with them and actually treat it as like I'm on a journey with them and I'm going to help them with, signing onto our company, and the paycheck's worth it. It's worth that commitment. And it just means that you put more time and you build better people skills as well, putting into different customers. And I think long term, you make a lot more money.
Totally agree. Really well explained. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm excited for the future, Ciaran. Big things. Like it's
Yes.
crazy. I've seen your evolution. Like so, it's really cool to see where you guys are at right now, and can't wait to see what you guys are gonna do in the future. And
Yeah, yeah.
it's been good to see.
One thing I feel I'll just say is that you're phenomenal at what you do, and I think that you also actually spend the time understanding the companies that you're recruiting for. So I think that's something that I haven't seen much in like the recruitment space, and I haven't, yeah, never missed with you, man. So like,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think I think anyone who's like on the fence about working with Saddam or his team and getting on board a sales rep for your company, I would not hesitate. He's
Yep.
phenomenal at he's
Yeah.
phenomenal at what he does, and it's
Yes.
really worth it.
100%. Like we only focus, like we don't do as much quantity at scale. Like we won't place 50 sales reps, 15, 50 different companies a month, but like we'll focus potentially on like 8, 12 companies. Or like again, really make sure we place great people. Sometimes even 5 companies a month, but really do a good job. But again, get an understanding of what you're looking for, make sure it's a good fit, and then also make sure that whoever we're going to bring on, the thing is try to save you some time too by just bringing you a few select people who we know are already pre-vetted, so you don't have to do a ton of interviews, and then from there you can make a really good choice of someone who's actually going to stick with you in the long haul. By also setting the right expectations with the reps as well. Because sometimes what happens is, let's say you communicate something to your recruiter or whoever's helping you get talent, and then the recruiter overhypes or again isn't always like super clear, right?
Yeah.
And then what happened is there's a lack of congruency between what was being said and what's really going on, and then that could
Hmm.
lead to churn. So for me, I'm all about retention, talent retention. It's super underrated It's like you want someone that performs, but you want someone that sticks with you, because over 6 months, if they stay with you, they're gonna get so good at selling what you do. Like you're gonna get so good at working within your company. Like that talent, the talent compounds. People don't talk about that, but it's a real thing. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Totally.
cool, awesome. Well, Ciaran, was appreciate you hopping on here. If anyone wants to, I don't know, get in touch with you or kind of like look into what you guys are doing, feel free to like, drop your info, or if any other business owners might be even listening to this, who knows, who want to work with you, where do they check you out? What do they go get your info?
I mean, if you want to see more info about what we do specifically, CustomersonCommand.co, and then I have Instagram, I have LinkedIn, and it's just Ciaran Hulan, which is my full name. So yeah, go and check me out there if you are interested. And I probably have nothing to sell you though. So yeah, but yeah, go. But I appreciate, like I said, Sally, and like helped us a lot. And I don't usually do videos like these and just give testimonials.
And you guys make sure to follow Ciaran. I'll drop his info down below, and appreciate it.